Advocate Hassan. I have one question on this topic.
On this, I just want to confirm one thing before you do so, Commissioner Khumalo. Do you confirm that General Shibiri was present at this?
Yes.
Okay. And he was aware that Mr. Matlala was going to be arriving?
I wouldn't say so, because it looked like General Shibiri was arriving from China at that point in time, because when I called him, he just said, I just landed or I arrived, something like that, but he was not around.
General, you make all your answers very long. Can you please try to shorten your answers, because the question is a simple one. Was General Shibiri aware that Mr. Matlala would be there? If you know he was, you say yes, he was. If you don't know, you say I don't know. If you know that he did not know, then you say no.
I really don't know, Chair.
Sorry?
Okay.
I don't know.
Thank you, General.
Thanks. And then
may that request please apply to all your answers. I do know that there are instances where you may want to give an explanation, but it cannot be in respect of all your responses. Thank you, General.
Chair, I have a question to ask.
Yes.
What is the status of this witness's statement? What is its status? Is it a confession? Is it an admission? Or is it was just an interrogation? Because I'm being asked on something that could have been obtained unlawfully as well, or like as determined by Mr. Matlala as being AI generated, and say I deny this and I deny this and I never said this, or the circumstances under which this statement was undertaken, where they went and booked him and then spent 5 hours with him interrogating him. Now, whatever they said about me, because they want me, now I'm responding to the statement that were made by the sergeants, when in fact they are talking about a confession that was obtained by Mr. Matlala that was supposed to have been, they are junior officials, they are sergeants. They were supposed to, when a person begin to make an unequivocal statement that if it were to be made in court would amount to a plea of guilty or a confession or an admission, then which means then there are certain procedures that needs to be followed. And in this regard, we're talking about a statement where people just called, went to book a person out, sat with a person out for six hours and saying it was an informal decision. It was an informal discussion. And then as a result, I just want to be assisted. Where do we position this thing? Was it an admission made by Mr. Matlala? Admitted? Is it admitted? Was it a confession? Or, because I'm now, why I'm worried is the fact that I know the status of PKTT in terms of so badly wanting to get hold of me, considering the fact that they have been to Mr. Matlala many times, even in jail, and saying to him, give us Sibiya, we'll take you out, we'll leave you out. We are prepared to even leave that case of Ms. Tobejani as long as you give us Sibiya. Work with us. Now, I'm in this situation now where now I'm being questioned on the statement that were obtained by PKTT junior members. Say, this is what Matlala told us. Whether I was being assaulted or was under duress, I don't know. But I'm just worried about the fact that I'm responding to a statement that I don't know what its real status is in front of the commissioners.
Ms. Hassan?
General, it is what I described earlier, which is evidence that's been introduced to the Commission by witness C, who was there when he was questioning Mr. Matlala. And that's all it is. This is not a criminal trial. This is evidence that emerged during the course of this Commission's hearings. I hear you speaking a lot about this plot that's against you, and that witness C and that all of the people who were responsible for arresting Mr. Matlala are actually doing it as part of a plot against you. But that doesn't take away from what, in his own voice, Mr. Matlala has said. You can say it was AI generated, that's fine. I'm putting it to you so you can respond. You can admit it, you can deny it, you can say whatever you want to say about what Mr. Matlala allegedly said, if you want to put it that way. And that's it.
Ms. Gillian, do you wish to say anything on this?
I agree with the evidence leader that the status and the admissibility of the evidence is not what is to be investigated, but simply this is what somebody said, and for that purpose alone the witness is asked to respond.
Thank you, Ms. Gillian. General, at this stage, just a minute,
When you say to Mr. Matlala he can make a 10, and you don't say to Sergeant Nkosi the reason that you are giving us now, you do appreciate that Mr. Matlala would not have known that you are asking him to come and pick up his wife. Only you would have known that, because you don't tell Sergeant Nkosi why Mr. Matlala should make a 10, and so Sergeant Nkosi doesn't tell Mr. Matlala why he's being asked to make a 10. He could only, therefore, both of them, in fact, Nkosi and Matlala, could only think that he's being invited to your house.
We didn't think so, Commissioner, because already Mr. Matlala was in constant communication with his wife, I guess.
No,
under normal circumstances.
Don't guess, General. Don't guess. You've given us what you say are the facts. You say they spoke to you to check if you would be okay or have a problem with Mr. Matlala coming to the house. So you state that as a fact. You then respond by instructing Sergeant Nkosi to tell him to make a 10. So what I'm saying to you is, with what you have told us, you must admit, or you must accept, that Mr. Matlala would not have known from you, at least, communicating to Sergeant Nkosi, that in fact he was being called to come and collect his wife. Just as we wouldn't have known until you started saying, they told me that his wife can drive. Just looking at this correspondence.
Commissioner, if you remember very well, Mr. Matlala himself did indicate that he received a call from his wife to come fetch her. He did indicate that at the ad hoc.
Okay. I'm not aware of that evidence. I'm dealing with I would like to believe, I don't want to think that you are tailoring your evidence to accord with what Mr. Matlala said. He may well have been lying. And I think it is best that you don't refer to him, because then it may give the impression that you are tailoring your evidence to accord with what he has said. I'm asking you about that date. What happened on that date? Forget what Mr. Matlala and his wife may or may not have been discussing. You say to us, you have this party. They tell you that Mrs. Matlala won't be able to drive. And they ask you, would you have a problem with Mr. Matlala coming to your house to pick her up? You action it. And that's what these WhatsApp exchanges are about. You action it by telling Sergeant Nkosi to tell Mr. Matlala to make a 10. And I'm saying to you, what I'm putting to you is, on what you are telling us, someone asked you, do you mind him coming to the house? You instruct Sergeant Nkosi, or you ask Sergeant Nkosi to tell him to make a 10. And I'm putting to you for your comment that, and I think it's a concession you can fairly make, that just on this, he wouldn't have known why he's coming to your house unless his wife spoke to him. Unless you don't know as a fact that his wife spoke to him. Surely you should be able to make that concession, that unless his wife told him that she can't drive, he must come and pick her up, he wouldn't have known why you are saying he must come and make a turn.
Commissioner, Chair, with respect, the evidence leader leads me about a statement that was made at the ad hoc commission by Mr. Matlala. He says things that, and she asked me about things that were spoken by Mr. Matlala at the ad hoc. And I respond, and I'm also making reference to what I heard him saying at the ad hoc. Now then, Commissioner Mbale says, no. Forget about what he said, because now you might be accused. I might actually take it that you are tailoring along the way. Now, I want you to answer in respect of this. Now, but as I answer in respect of this, then the question is going to come and say, but Mr. Matlala in ad hoc said this. Now, I'm in between now.
Okay, that's it. I hear your complaint. It's a fair complaint. Let me do this differently. We don't know whether Mr. Matlala is telling the truth or not in the ad hoc committee, so I don't base anything on what he said. I didn't even listen to him in the ad hoc committee. So, and I don't know whether it's true or not what he says happened about this incident, so I put no stock on it. I have my conversation with you about that night, what you know about that night. So let's not refer to him, because we don't know what happened between him and his wife, if anything happened at all. We don't know for sure. So I'm saying go back to that evening of the 14th. You are at your house. Your version is someone said to you, they said to you, Miss Matlala can't drive back home. Would you have a problem if Mr. Matlala came to pick her up? That's what you tell us. And I'm not in a position to say, no, that's not true, that's not how it happened. I have, for purpose of our discussion, to take it at face value. It's what you say happened that night. You then action it, that's what you tell us. You send a message to Sergeant Nkosi to tell Matlala, Cat Matlala, to make a turn. We do know that he does arrive, because that's your version. He does arrive at your house. All I'm saying to you, or I'm putting to you, is that when all there is someone spoke to you, Sergeant Nkosi wasn't there. Someone told you Mrs. Matlala can drive. You say to Nkosi, tell Cat to make a turn. Cat arrives. In all of that, with all of that communication, Mr. Matlala would not have known from you or from Sergeant Nkosi that he's being asked or invited to come and collect his wife. That's what I'm putting to you, and I'm saying I think it's a fair construction of what happened that night. What do you say to that?
To me, Commissioner, it's rather impossible that my wife could be somewhere at a party, and I don't know where my wife is, or I know that she's at a party and she can't drive, and then that someone else must call me and say my wife cannot drive.
Do you know for a fact that Mr. Matlala knew that his wife can't drive home? Do you know that as a matter of fact? And you understand when I say as a matter of fact, I mean, you're a police officer. You know what the question means. Do you know as a verifiable fact that Mr. Matlala knew that his wife, before you called him, before Sergeant Nkosi spoke to him, and before he arrived at his house, at your house, do you know that he knew as a fact that his wife is unable to drive herself home?
Personally, I didn't know.
Okay, thank you. That's what I wanted from you to clarify.
Included, and then it's something that I am responding to and probed or ask a question, because sometimes I'm not in the same mindset as the evidence leader who is there to ask questions and I must respond. But in my case, when I draft something, when we draft a response on a particular point, we ask a lot of questions, but sometimes I will say this and say, but if you are not asked about this, then why put it in?
General, but you are speaking about your relationship with Mr. Matlala and you are devoting a section of your 90-page statement. Remember why you are here. You are here to assist the commission to establish facts. You don't wait until people make allegations and then only then do you say, oh, I was hoping they were not going to mention this. Now that they have mentioned it, then I will deal with it in a supplementary. Because it's the same issue with the impalas. You say none of this. If you were not allowed to file a supplementary statement, we would have been left with the impression that you only met Mr. Matlala once in January 2024, and that was it. We would not have known that actually he was at your house at a party. Only when General Sentumule mentions it in her statement, and you depose to a supplementary statement where you are responding to General Sentumule's statement, only then do you give the commission these facts, and I find that troubling.
I really am not so sure whether anyway I've never referred to it, but what I know is that I think I can also at this point in time also remember whether at ad hoc committee I was ever asked about it. I was never asked about it, and then even now I was never asked about it. Up until it is being mentioned, that's when I respond to it. So that is why it's not a question of one is withholding information or hiding information, because I'm prepared to respond and I'm responding. If I'm asked about something, I'll respond to it. But if it was never asked, I kept it short.
I'm leaving it there for now.
And then factor into that what Ms. Hassim has already raised with you, which is Sergeant Kosi says that he's dropping the gogos, then coming to you, and you then say, ask it to make a turn. So if you look at what Commissioner Kumalo is raising with you, and what I've just read to you now, to an ordinary reader, that sounds like you were just inviting Mr. Matlala. This idea that he was coming to pick up his wife who had taken a lot of liquor doesn't make much sense. Because all you would say to him is, and by the way, Mrs. Matlala needs to be picked up. Please ask her to come pick her up. You don't say, ask her to make a turn. You are inviting him.
If this is maybe how commissioners maybe see it, I will really, from where I'm sitting, just stick to the fact that when I said ask Cat to make a turn, in my mind I was implying that you can ask him to make a turn, it doesn't really matter. I don't have a problem.
Who had said anything about a problem? That's the thing.
No,
Sergeant Kosi, after dropping off these goggles, I'm coming to you. So we are basically saying, also ask Mr. Matlala to come as well. That's in context, that's what this means. This thing about Mrs. Matlala and so on, and Mr. Matlala having to come pick her up because she cannot drive, in context, it simply doesn't make sense.
General, you're shaking your head.
Are you shaking or nodding? I think he's nodding. I think the general is nodding.
No. It's a chair's viewpoint on this thing, and it's not a fact that I think I should take any further when the chair says it doesn't make sense to me. So to me, I can't argue any further when the chairs.
Ordinarily, people don't speak like that. As khulumi kanjalo, we don't speak like that. All I'm saying is, I mean, you would say, usho kuMatlala ukuthi alanda unkosikazi akazukwazi ukushayela imoto ngoba uthande ukuthi kakhulu. That's how you would put it. Please ask Mrs. Matlala to come, Mr. Matlala to come pick up his wife. I'm translating for those who didn't hear. That's how ordinary conversation would go. So I'm not trying to gratuitously attack you or anything. I'm just talking about how people would talk normally. Don't you accept that?
This is how people talk normally, Chair. But how it happened at that time, I cannot also at this point in time describe it anyhow to say, why did I put it like that? But I said, ask Cat to make a 10, and as far as I'm concerned, there was nothing wrong.